When you think about Hinata Hyuga, you probably think of the meek but brave woman who admired Naruto from the shadows and found strength by watching Naruto overcome the hatred of the village and eventually become Hokage. Hinata is not one of the characters who you think about when you say this character is aggressive or has a short temper, but there was one time in the Boruto era that Hinata outright confronted Sasuke, and it's one of the angriest times that we've ever seen Hinata. But when the scene came out a few years ago, due to the reactionary nature of anti-Twitter and people not having context, it led to a lot of people saying that this scene produced a Hinata who is drastically out of character and a Sasuke who's out of character because Hinata apparently scared him. After all, who really thinks that Hinata could scare Sasuke, somebody that has fought against literal Otsutsuki? But that's exactly why in today's Naruto Explained video, I wanted to go in depth about a moment in the timeline of the Naruto franchise where Sasuke versus Hinata per se actually took place and actually clear up the misconceptions on what happened during this confrontation. So back in June 2020, I briefly addressed this scene in the Why is Sasuke Scared of Hinata video, and in it I promised to go fully in depth when I eventually got around to covering the Naruto Retsuden story, which that time is now here at last. So obviously this information in today's video comes to us via the Naruto Retsuden story, Naruto Retsuden, the Seventh Hokage, and the Spiral of Destiny, which deals with Naruto's chakra illness that the Sage of Six Paths once had, which takes place between the Mujina Bandits arc and the Vessel arc of the Boruto manga, and after the events of Kakashi Retsuden and Sasuke Retsuden, the latter of which was actually adapted into the anime very loosely. In the scene we're about to go over, a very emotional Sasuke has just heard Kakashi's plan to get them into the part of the atmosphere where Hagoromo hit the polar particle where it could be viewed amongst the other stars, and Sasuke declares that he will rip off the ceiling tags on the polar particle, knowing full well if he touches the polar particle by accident, it will kill him by flooding his body with chakra, the same way Zetsu flooded Jubi Madara with Kaguya's chakra and almost made Madara literally explode, saved only by the fact that he had the God Tree inside of him, which has a strong life force and allowed him to survive. It's after Sasuke states this and everyone leaves that shop that they were gathered in that Hinata steps out of the shadows and confronts Sasuke when she's certain that Naruto can't see or hear her, and we get the controversial moment that had many people say it took Hinata and Sasuke out of character, when in reality it's actually a moment that should make any Naruhina fan very proud of Hinata and shows just how deeply Hinata's love for Naruto runs and how far she'll go to support her husband, and it also shows someone in Sasuke actually acknowledge how much stronger Hinata's gotten. This one scene alone should have Hinata locking down that title of being the best wife in Konoha, but we'll get to that in a moment. With the scene and the much needed context being set, let's dive into the scene from the novel, and then I'll come back to you guys my thoughts, and in particular about the undeserved outrage because people jumped the gun. And it's here I'm gonna begin quoting Sasuke-kun. His name was called by someone as he turned a corner from Tommy's shop. It wasn't a place that she happened to pass by accident. Hinata knew that Sasuke and the others had been gathering here in secret. Hinata, what's wrong? Sasuke asked. Thank you for taking care of Naruto, Hinata replied. Could she have realized it? Sasuke hid his annoyance and he kept his poker face while staring at Hinata. Naruto's condition was meant to be top secret in front of his family. If she had always been sensing the truth but keeping Naruto's wishes and pretended to go along with not knowing, Hinata really was a good wife. There's no reason for you to thank me. I was just doing this because I wanted to do this, Sasuke said, walking past Hinata until she threw something at him. It was a headband with the Konoha symbol on it. It's better to have your forehead protected by something like this, Hinata said, eyes narrowed at Sasuke. Sasuke was staring at Hinata's face, thinking about her. Back in the academy days, she was always shy, and despite working so hard, he never saw her as anyone with any type of confidence. She was always looking at other people, and he felt that she had no opinion of her own. It's why she always annoyed him back then. That wasn't the Hinata standing before him today. She changed over the years since then. The strength he knew was locked away inside of the academy student who never had her own opinion or never stood up for herself was now shown on the outside. Sasuke realized with that strength, she was watching over Naruto this whole time, supporting Naruto, living up to her duty as the woman who married him and being his strength when he didn't realize he needed it. Technically, I'm not a Konoha shinobi. I have no reason to wear this, Sasuke began, but Hinata cut him off as Sasuke tried to hand the headband back to her. Return it to me properly then, Hinata said before stepping into Sasuke's face. If you make my husband be burdened with your life, I won't ever forgive you, Hinata said. Sasuke looked at the headband as Hinata walked away. As expected, he wasn't good with dealing with Hinata. End quote. So I don't know about you, but that scene hits hard for a few reasons and should make the whole Hinata's out of character by confronting Sasuke portion look so stupid. Sasuke put 2 and 2 together that Hinata had already figured out what was going on with Naruto, but was choosing to stay quiet and play along with not knowing the truth. But the entire time she was keeping tabs on the situation, he calls her a good wife for it. The whole reason she gave him the headband was a subtle nod to tell him to protect himself, and when Sasuke didn't get what she meant, Hinata just got blunt with them. Don't burden my husband with your life, which is something that went over the heads of Annie Twitter when they went into the rage over the scene calling Sasuke and Hinata out of character. Hinata is rightfully saying she won't forgive Sasuke if he ever gives up his life so that Naruto can live, because she knows that if Naruto survives Sasuke, Naruto will be miserable as a result. In particular, if it's a situation where Sasuke gives up his life so that Naruto can live. Hinata is just like us, the audience. She knows that the bond between Naruto and Sasuke, it runs deeper than 2 men who are close enough to be brothers. Their very souls are connected due to being the reincarnates of Ashura and Indra. Sasuke prior to this made it clear he didn't care about touching the polar particles and what it would do to him if it meant he could save Naruto. Hinata wasn't in that room, but she knew enough about what Sasuke was planning to do and knew enough about Sasuke to know she needed to speak to him before he did anything crazy. If you'll recall, earlier in the novel, Sakura tells Naruto and Sasuke they were in the wrong for keeping Hinata out the loop on this, and she says that they needed to tell Hinata about Naruto's condition before Hinata figures it out. Hinata just happens to be having Orochimaru over for lunch on a regular basis. Orochimaru is someone who happens to know what's going on with Naruto and just happened to agree to give up her chakra to be used by Orochimaru's Byakugan goggles that she gave to Naruto to use so Naruto can be protected, which while those goggles are active, Hinata can't mold her chakra, and Hinata just happens to not say anything to Naruto moments after he has what appears to be a heart attack, because she knows Naruto in his stubborn pride and his love for his family doesn't want to portray anything other than strength to them, but she knows from being in communication with Orochimaru that Naruto's running out of time, and she's finally making her presence be known so that Sasuke remembers that his life doesn't is his own to throw away, but also there will be people who he's gonna hurt by throwing his life away to save Naruto, and it runs deeper than his own family. Naruto will be crushed as a result of this. So do any of us think that Naruto could forgive himself if Sasuke died for him after everything he did to bring his friend back from the darkness? Of course not, and the reverse actually runs true as well. If you think about when they fought Jigen, which happens later in the timeline, Sasuke freaked out because he didn't have enough chakra to teleport himself and Naruto back to Konoha, and after Naruto sacrificed himself by using shadow clones to distract Jigen to allow Sasuke to escape, as Sasuke lay bleeding out behind Sakura in a near-death state, Sasuke wasn't worried about himself before he blacked out. He was worried about Naruto, saying under his breath, Naruto don't die. Their bond runs very deep. They put the other one's safety and health above their own. Personally, this is one of those actions that had the anime continue to adapt the chakra illness storyline and not tell a very abridged version of that story in the Sasuke Retsuden anime episodes, we would have seen this scene animated if they continued into Naruto Retsuden, and honestly, I think this scene paints Hinata in a very strong light as a female character. She doesn't throw hands at Sasuke per se, but I'll probably get artwork done on the thumbnail just to have some fun with it, but by standing up to him both as a peer and a wife of his friend, Hinata shows a level of strength that I think any man should look at and want a wife like Hinata, someone who's attentive to their needs and supportive while also putting herself out there to be useful in ways that the man doesn't even realize or even knows that he actually needs, while also most importantly not stepping on her husband's ability to lead the relationship. This for me is one of those most mature moments in the entire novel, but I'm curious to see if this changes any of you guys' opinions on Hinata. Is Hinata out of character, or are people just completely blowing this whole situation out of hand because they didn't have context? While you think that over, click here to watch these other Naruto Retsuden videos.